Hola controles, bienvenidos a su podcast El After. El día de hoy tenemos un invitado muy especial. Es un capítulo en inglés, entonces a los que lo vean en las plataformas como Facebook y YouTube, ahí lo pueden ver. Y pues bueno, hoy tenemos a INTERSYS en la casa, en El After. Omri, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. ¿Todo bien? ¿Cómo estás, Armando?
All good, all good. Happy having you here. We have know each other like for, I don't know, 13, 14 years, a lot of time. Since recharge times, a lot of time. And well, we have been talking since I started this podcast and like for this opportunity, and it's so killer that you're here in Mexico and we have this.
Yes. So first, I want to say thank you for having me. I'm actually following you on, YouTube and Facebook, like checking all the artists you interviewing and all that. You're doing a really good job. I have to say that. So it's for me, it's like also opportunity to like have more time with the audience, like talk to them, and so they can know more about me. But the idea is that you're doing a really good job in this, and it's a good opportunity. So I'm here. Let's talk.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm so happy that a lot of artists, national and international artists, are happy, and people are seeing it, and they ask me for more artists. Like, hey, you should interview this. Sometimes it's difficult due to logistics, because.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, the plan is like to have like all the scene here, and yeah, with step by step. So, well, the format basically here is like people know the story of INTERSYS, and also your first approach to music, so people can see like all the road that you have been.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so tell us how you started into this world.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, like if we go really back, I would say that I started like really young listening to music. I found myself like looking at old photos of myself, like when I was like baby and all that, and I saw me with vinyls and with headphones on me and trying to do like DJing, but it's not like real DJing, it's just listening to music. And I think the connection with the music started really, really early at that age, and at the beginning of the electronic music for me was, I think, around when I was like 16 and a half. So I started doing DJing for the school. I was making mixes and all that for like hip-hop music and dance music and all that, just figuring out like how to DJ. And from that point, I think I became more like I said, I want to be like doing the music. I want to be a producer. I want to make the beats. I want to do that. So I started like with the IT tracker. I don't know if you know this program. It's like really, really old program.
No.
IT. So I started doing with the IT program. It was very familiar back in Israel. So I started doing like music with that, and then with Cubase and all that, and I really fell in love with the music. I fell in love like doing the music at the beginning. It was like I did every day. I started like new project, learning about how to make beats and everything. I haven't done like full songs, like full tracks, but I always in the beginning learned how to do that. And I think around like 17 and a half, I released my first track, and I think I don't remember which one was it, but I released it in a Japanese label, something like that. And after like few months, I flew to Russia. I was playing in Russia. I played in Japan after that, like after at age of 16 and a half, 17. So for me, like the beginning was very like I really fell in love with the music, like the electronic music, because back then we had like Infected Mushroom and all that, so we like really all like the Delta, Extreme and all that. We really listened to like the pioneers of electronic music. Well, not electronic, but psytrance music. And so for me it was like really important to make music, to make people happy. And I think like at that point I understand that this is what I want to do like with my life. I want to do music, electronic music, and it was like that. So I will like try to fill up gaps in my stories, but I'm gonna start and say about the story about Russia, for example. That I was just like 16 and I was at school, and I came to. It's like a story I'm telling to people because it's like very embedded in me, that when I started making music, and it was like very like fresh, I wasn't like really, nobody knows me or knew my music. And when I started releasing like the new single and after that another one, I received like messages from DJ around the world, like from Brazil, from Russia, from Japan and all that, and like, do you need to come play and all that? So I was like, I wasn't at the school at that time. I was like, wait, how do you do that? Like, how you go like as a 16 boy to a country, and you probably need like permission from your parents and all that to do that. And so I received like an offer from a Russian DJ. And he told me, you have to come play, people love your music. And I had not like made a lot of music. I had like maybe 3 tracks or something like that. So I played other artists' musics. So I wasn't at school, so I came to my teacher, and I told her like, hey, I'm going to Russia, I'm going to play, so I'm not gonna be at school like for like a week or so. So she was like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you're not. I mean, she was not like believing me, like not like in the music, but believing like I will, like 16 years old, will go play in a music, like in a party music event. So I told her like, I'm going. So like when the date of the party came, I flew. I went to the party and I came back to school like normal. And the teacher said like, where have you been? And I told her that like I went to Russia. I was playing in Russia and there was a lot of people and I was so excited. And I started like, whoa, there was a lot of people and they danced to my music and all that. And she was like in shock. She was like, what happened? Like she wouldn't believe like what happened. She thought I'm like lying or something like that. And seeing this like her eyes was like, wow. I think she at the end she understood and was very proud of me. And it was like this moment I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And then like I started like flying. Well, after that I flew to Japan. I had like amazing time in Japan and I fell in love in Japan. It was nice, the people and everything. So basically, if we sum it up, like I think when I was like really like 16, I think 15, starting like DJing and all that, understanding the concept of music. So I really, really loved that. I started producing, and since then it's like a history. It's a good history.
Yeah, it's a good start of music. And yeah, I think in Israel you're more influenced because there's more cultural. Maybe people doesn't know, but in Israel electronic music is like very, very important. Like in Mexico, like the mariachi and the cumbia and everything. In Israel, the all the Goa and all the trance. It's very important. And what was your DJ name on that time?
It was Chemical Planet, was something like that. I think Chemical Planet. It was like my DJ because DJ and slash producer because it was not like full on music because I wasn't not familiar with that term yet because it came later, like with the years. It was like just psytrance music, more like in a style, if I can say, like extreme style, xenomorph, I will say, like this kind of style. It was like dark, but not like too dark, like not dark too fast, but it was this kind of style, like extreme. And yes, I mean, I think being in Israel, like in the trance scene, it helps a lot because really fast you will start to know people. Like, how you make music? I make music. Oh, you go to that party and you go to this party and you know this DJ and this artist. So everything is like very fast. It's like getting connection and everybody knows everybody, and also because it's a small country. So yeah. So when you start doing like you getting more involved in the culture of psytrance in Israel, you start to know people, and you start like exchanging music and you know, and you start like learning from others. And I was like, when I was I think when I was like, I would say like like 17 and a half, I was with my friend DNA, if you know him.
Yeah, sure.
So he was like, there was one DNA and there was Sonic Vision also. Before the time I started working with Moshe was not in the picture in that time. So I learned like from DNA, he was like more like involved because he started earlier than me. So he got more involved and he knew more like in the scene. So he kind of not helped, but we were together and we together learned how to produce music, how to do like good bass lines and how to like mix the bass line with the kick, with the melody and everything. So I think being in Israel and on top of that with the psytrance, it's like, I think it's a good mix. It's always been a good mix, and you can see that like worldwide because I think Israel is like having all the biggest artists, not just the biggest, but have most artists, I think, compared to other countries. And it's I think that's because of the cultural in Israel that we are very connected to the music and especially to the psytrance music. So yeah, I mean, I think at the end the psytrance in Israel is very very unique, very it touched a lot of people in Israel. So yeah,
and as you say, it's very important, like to have those kind of friends that help you and you share knowledge, like how you make this, how you make that, and it's very Israel. I've been there. I really like all the people, all the culture, and since I met you from a long time ago, when I went over there, everybody was like so happy, like to receive. And they give you a shawarma and hummus, a falafel and pita, and they're like very, very glad. And I think that people of Israel, they're very supportive. So I think that is very good. Like if you're having an idea on that moment and you go with DNA or with Sonic Vision, they help you like to be like a better producer or a DJ, and also make collaborations. And yeah, there's a lot of support. And I think that since that idea and that culture is why like all the DJs from Israel are in the loop since a lot of time.
Yeah, I think from the beginning, I think the pioneers, I think are I think is INTERSYS. He was like, I think one of the main main founders in the psytrance in Israel. He was like really in my point of view, like helping a lot to produce like a lot to start their own way and start producing psytrance music. And yeah, I think thanks to him and thanks to other people, it became like really strong scene in Israel and worldwide, I think. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's killer and a lot of talent. And since I hope that this keeps from years and years. And at what time of your career INTERSYS is born? How do you met Moshe?
I met Moshe. Well, it's kind of. I met Moshe through DNA from Zev. He's the part of the other part of DNA. There is Eitan and DNA. So I was. They knew each other from the choir or something like. No, not choir, but it's like a musical school, something like that. So Moshe was a drummer and Zev played in the clarinet or something like that. So they knew each other, and I was doing my thing. I released like some tracks and all that, and I was playing in Russia and Japan and all that, and then like it's kind of like very authentic because I was on the way to, like in the city. I was in the city. I was like taking a taxi to go to the to some place, and Moshe was in the taxi, and we knew each other. Like I just sat in the taxi, and it was like we talked like you're the friend of Zev, and I was like, yeah, how are you? You're Moshe, yeah, and everything like that. So we started talking, and I was like a little bit, how to say it in English, but I can say it in Spanish. It's like I was like a bit mamon, you know. So I was like, yeah, I just came from Japan, and it was nice, and I played my music and all that, and Moshe was like, from like
my perspective,
yeah. So he was like surprised, you know, and after like after that conversation, we met a few times, and we started. We said like let's do a track together because he was like very interesting because he was doing something with DNA that didn't kind of work. So I did want to try Moshe in a different way, like because he was very talented. He's still very talented, and I want, because we started like experience with music, and the scene got like really big, and they started like doing full music at that time. So I told him, hey, let's do like full music, but with vocals. Like let's do something like, because he was singing, but his voice was like really not nice, you know. It was not like you know, like a really good singer, but with the softwares and all that you can fix that, and it was like experiencing with vocals and full music, and I think we kind of was on something like doing some unique music that has like the INTERSYS signature. So if, well, I can go a little bit back, and I will go back to that part soon. So if I go back, and I was like releasing all the music, and I was doing like all the music alone and everything, it was like in that time was Psychoactive, it was Dreams, it was I think Emotia, it was like really old tracks of me, and then I was like, okay, I want to do like some new, and then I met Moshe, as I told you, and after that, we started doing like all the experience with the music, and at that point, I was like convinced that I want Moshe with me, like to do the music with me, and we started. I think was the first track was we did was I think radio ground. I think it never been released, or it was released. I'm not sure yet. And after that, we worked. Was the first like really good track we worked on was Richard.
Killing track.
Yes, it was the first track that we actually did, because everything before that was experiencing the work together, and the studio was at Moshe's like parents' house, so it was like a room with sponge and all that, like acoustic, and it was like at that time it was like very like, because we did music all day, you know, we finished with the school and finished with our like responsibility, and we went doing music from like, I don't know, like 4 p.m. until like 6 a.m. in the morning, you know, like that. It was like I don't know how to say it, like this is what we did every day, like till I don't know what time, but we did it like every day. And everything was connected with people, with Sonic Vision, with Zev and all that. So so we always like got involved, and I think, well, it's kind of the way that INTERSYS started. It was like shared. It was shared with other people, like because Zev helped a lot with the like teach me how to produce and how to do really good production, mix and everything. And at that time when Moshe came, he taught me how to be more musical, and together me and Moshe was like this combination that was very very stable, because I was taking care of like all the production and all the mixing and like the layout and how to do the intros, how to do the breakdowns and everything, and together with Moshe was like with the vocals and everything was just like on spot, and it started like that. Like I think it started like back in the taxi, so it was like a nice moment, and from that moment we kind of started doing music, and we flew. After that, me and Moshe flew, I think it was to Holland, Netherlands, I think, to a festival. It was the first time Moshe was actually playing music. I was like a little bit more experienced, but Moshe was the first time, I think, for him. And I think after that party, it was like all in, you know? So basically, yeah, that's how INTERSYS like started, I think.
So a very long time ago. So the first track is Recharge. like
yeah, the official one, yes. It's like, it's not, yeah, it's Recharge, but I think the recognition to that track was like, I think it started like at 2008, I think. No, not 2007 maybe.
Yeah, because I recall Pre-Charge, an album.
Yes.
I don't remember right now the tracks, but
Yeah.
I remember the Pre-Charge, and then I remember the Recharge.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-Charge was the experiment, all the tracks we did, but was not like, it was the style of INTERSYS, but not completely there. It was like those tracks you do on the way to reach the pure sound you have, the pure style you have. So those tracks were like those tracks like helping you to get to this stage of the music, the production and all that. And they were like really good tracks. Yeah, I love them. But I think when we reached to Recharge, like the album also, but this track specific, the Recharge track, it was like that time I was like, I want to do music like that, because it has like everything. It has like the emotions, the melodies and everything. Even the vocal were like like meaning, like had meaning to that. Like it was like talking about like how to have a better life and how to make like great things with yourself. You know, like, it was like really when we wrote the lyrics, it was like we thought about that. It was like we were not like doing let's do vocals because I don't know, it's gonna be nice, but we actually believed in like giving that message to other people. And for me, I think Recharge is like it's a masterpiece, you know, that will always be my favorite because it's like a big stone in INTERSYS way for me, and I think also for Moshe. So yes, so I think Recharge, I think when we came to, I think also it's like the first time we came to Mexico, it was, I think, because of that track. I think it was, this track made like big hype around INTERSYS, and I think this track was like this door that opens everything for INTERSYS. So this track is like very symbolic, you know, in a way.
Yeah, I remember I was in school, and in the beginnings of beatcontrollers with Eddie and with Danny, and I remember that I was on the school on my degree and with my laptop, and I always went into forums, and I remember watching the cover of Recharge. Like I see like the figure, like very Transformer style, and Transformer from Michael Bay, the first movie. I recall that it's from that time, and I saw the cover and I say, oh wow, this looks killer. Because if you compare other covers, like not saying nothing bad to the other artists, but I remember like Didi's or Sesto's cover were a little bit more simple. And when I saw this, I was like, wow, they looks killer. And I like the palette, like silver and white. And I remember downloading the track, the album on that moment, and put it on my iPod. And when I went back to home, and I remember listening to opera, listening to Recharge. Yeah. I don't recall if Fast Mode was there, but
Fast Mode was not there.
Yeah, but I remember that track from INTERSYS and Sonic Vision, Fast Mode. Yeah, but what are the other tracks? I remember listening to the album a lot. I was like, wow, but Recharge like blew me away. And when it go down and like the killer voice and the melody, bam, 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 I was like, no, this track is amazing. Yeah. And yeah, so and what was the creative process for Recharge? Like, how do you write them? Everything. I think that a lot of people must know the story of that track.
Yes. First of all, it's a track with, I think, like maybe 4 versions. Like, it's not like it took a lot of time to work on it, but 4 version, I mean, like at what point it was a track with no vocal, like a certain track was completely different, and after that we made another version of that track that had no vocal, and after that we did another like version. Everything was like building up to the current Recharge, you know, but the third version, it was with Moshe's voice, the singing and everything, and after that we changed it to a different singer. We kind of combined like a woman singer and Moshe's voice. It was like, and this is like the first version, like, well, not the first, sorry, the version that has been released. After that we made like another tweaking with Ella, and she started like recording also this like the vocal Recharge, and we did some fine tuning, and after that we did like a live mix version where we changed also the vocals, we changed the drops and everything. We made like more like a dance floor updated version. So there was a lot of version to that track. But the first one, like the beginning of that track, like how we made it, it was I think it took like months to do that, like maybe half a year, like to do that track. I think more like between 4 to 5. And consider at that time we were like sitting always on that track. We were just working this track to make it like make it perfect. And yes, I mean, I remember we received like a lot of comments from other like artists, like when we played that track for them. And I remember like going back to the studio and refine the bass line, refine the kick and the melodies, and everything was like, I don't know why, but we made like, it was like on the air, like between me and Moshe, like we have to do this track like to have like to perfect this track, like in every sense. So we knew this track was like the track gonna change our life. So yes, I mean, we kind of started doing like in the first version was totally different bass line, and the second one was, I remember, like I'm trying to remember, it was a long time ago, but I remember pictures of that moment. So we were working on the bass line for the first version. We were like, it has to be like a really good bass line and all that, and all the time you learn like how to improve yourself with other artists, and you learn like techniques and everything. So I think that's why we it was very important for us to make this track like perfect, and so that's why it took so much version and so much attempt to release it in a perfect like state. And I think also when we released it in the album, it was not like in my point of view was not like perfect, because I think the live mix that came after like a 1 year or something like that, I think 2000 I don't remember, 2000
maybe 9.
yes, 9 I think.
Yeah, I remember that we played that.
8 no, I think it was 9. So yes, it was 9, and that version for me was like the best version, because it had everything. Like it had everything, like the crisp sound and the nice drop that was missing in the first version, like the final version we released. So now I mean, there is now like a 2023 actually version of the like recharge. So it's, I don't know, it's this track you cannot like forget, you know, at least for me. So yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's a very killer track. I remember listening before meeting you and Moshe, and yeah, I remember the whole album. The whole album was killer album. So that was like the change of history of INTERSYS. Yeah, because I remember coming out to Mexico. I recall the video in Guadalajara with Ella and Moshe singing, and
Yes.
the full place. I remember that video, so killer. And then I remember a little bit after that video, or prior to that video, I met you with on Javier party and on Melodic Fest.
Yes, Melodic Fest.
Melodic Fest, that is
Amazing.
like very amazing party, and you also stayed in Montreal like for a week or two. I remember, and it's when I met Ananda Sheikh and Omer and
Yes.
and INTERSYS, and
Yeah.
it was when we had a killer time.
I think, yeah, well, I can go a little bit back and tell you, I mean, in my perspective on the you know, like when INTERSYS met with Mexico for the first time, it was like I first of all fell in love with the country, like with the culture and music and everything. The people, it's like amazing. So I think the first connection was at Equinoccio 2008 in Guadalajara. It was it was that party, I think, that festival. It was really big festival that made the big change for INTERSYS in the Mexican scene. Like how INTERSYS was like got the hype and the explosion from that party, because in that party we played the Richard track, and everybody knew that track. Everybody knew that track, and I think there was like maybe, I don't know, maybe between 10 to 15,000 or maybe something like that, 1,000 people in that party. Maybe I'm exaggerating, I'm not sure, but everybody knew that track. And they were like waiting for that track to start, like to play it. And when we played, everybody sing that lyrics. I mean, some was not like singing correctly, but they
were
humming, they were humming the melody and everything. But still, it was like, and I remember because it was like a really big festival, and there were like a lot of artists, like Israeli artists, and also and after we came off the stage, people was like in shock, because at that time we were like freelance, we were not having a label, and we just made music, and it was like, at that time it was like the time where we kind of like met with also like Utopia Records and all that. So we it's like that time that nobody kind of knew who is INTERSYS in a big sense of way, and that party made like huge waves around the world for INTERSYS. So it's like also like the first like introduction me and Moshe had with Mexico. So I think after that party was it was like home, and from that time, that festival 2008, I came to Mexico like, I don't know, like a lot. I used to live in Guadalajara, and I had some time in Guadalajara, and I was in Monterrey. I don't know what came first, if it was the Melodic Festival or it was like that party we played in La Huasteca. There was one party we played with Ella. I'm not sure. Do you remember that party? I don't know if I don't know. I remember the name of the party, but it was like in a Huasteca. It was open air, and it was me, Moshe, and Ella. It was like amazing.
I think it was after, because we already met. I already knew you. Yeah. I because I remember meeting you on Melodic Fest. It's when we like become friends and talking. Yeah, I remember that 1 week prior you were here, and we make a barbecue on Javier's house.
Yes, exactly.
And that's when I met you. Like, hey, what's up? And then you come to our studio, and then we play at Melodic Fest, and then next week we were together. And I remember the INTERSYS party with Ella. It was after, because a long time ago, beatcontrollers we were 3, and I remember that Daniel and myself went to play other place, and Eddie played with you on Monterrey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I remember that, because we were already friends. We were like, we have another date, but we will see you. And I've seen a lot of you upon the years. So
yes, it was amazing. I think Mexico was always a home for us, for me. Also, like every time I come to Mexico, I feel home. I love the people. I love the culture. I told you, it's like, I don't know. It's like every time I come here, I feel very connected, like to Mexico, to the people, through music. Because every time I go on stage in Mexico, it's like I have this connection with every individual. Like everybody, because I've been here a lot, and I do talk with a lot of my fans and all the people like from Mexico, DJs, artists, everyone. I talk to them. I am making sure to stay like on touch with everybody, because I think it is very important, and especially with the Mexican people, it's like was like falling in love with the people, because I don't know, there is like a weird connection between Israeli people to Mexican people, maybe because we are both very like warm people,
Yeah.
like emotional maybe or something like that. So so yes, I mean the way that INTERSYS like, I don't know, like started here in Mexico, it was like, I can say thank you to all the people who were like involved in the making of, like, not making of INTERSYS, but making the way of INTERSYS in Mexico. It was like, I know so much people in Mexico, and I feel like happy knowing that people, you know, and it's good because it helps, like, you know, helps not just INTERSYS, but helps like the Psytrance community here in Mexico, makes it big, makes it more like a cultural thing, you know, because doing like more cultural thing here in Mexico, there is like the cultural stuff that belongs to Mexico, you know, and there is like the Psytrance, so it's kind of different, but it's like the cultural in Mexico with the Psytrance is, in my point of view, is like very similar to what in Israel, you know, because here the parties are very like, when people go to the party, they go like to listen to music, you know, they really love the music and the people, and it's amazing. And for me, it's like it's like a amazing way to meet people and to be with people, and was
And it's going back. Yeah, I think Mexican people and Israel people were very warm, even though Israel owns to Europe or Middle East. I think European people are more cold, and Latin American people were very warm. But yeah, I agree that both are very warm. You come to Mexico, it's like, yeah, let's do a barbecue, let's go and eat some tacos.
Yeah.
When you go to Israel, come to my house, eat shawarma with me and everything. Yeah, so we're very warm people, and I think that the music from INTERSYS connected because I think it was a different proposal for what we are listening on that moment, because I was very into the scene. And not because you're my friend and not your friend, but when I listened the first time INTERSYS, I say, wow, this proposal is very difficult, very different. I see the full power, like very full power, and a lot of melodies, not just the kick and bass with some saps and everything. Yeah, because there were some artists that like very melodical every artist has a different proposal, but INTERSYS like was very unique, and I think it connected a lot with Mexico. And we are people from vocals and all that. I know all your music and all your tracks, and starting with Richards, it was Killer and Opera and No More Noise and Fast Mode, and yeah, because it was something that I was talking with Michelle Adamson, like people remembers the vocal. It's very difficult like to go with you like, hey, remember like boom, bim, bim. Maybe if you know the track, it's like, it's Richards for sure.
Yeah.
But if you say like, take my hand, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that track. So I think on that moment, not a lot of Psytrance tracks have vocals. Like Voices from Heaven is like something that I recall from that moment. Or the Infected Mushroom tracks. They I think that they identify that if you put a vocal or a hook, people are going to remember. And there's a very killer track from that time, but the INTERSYS track was like something different. So what happened after Richards, like the boom? What changed in your lives after INTERSYS? Because it's very different playing at home on my little studio and be a freelancer, to have a label and start with the tours. What happened when you go back?
Yeah, when we go back, I think after the Equinox, we were like in the beginning with the Utopia Records. So after that hype, I mean, first of all, we always did everything by ourselves. Like me and Moshe was at the beginning. We created, by default, I'm like a graphic designer. I learned that on my way, and also Moshe was like very, very like creative, learning a lot of new things and everything. So when we started the project, we started like doing all the marketing stuff. We created the logo by ourselves. We did not go to a designer or anything. We did everything. We did the website. We did the merch. We did the shirts we had and everything. We did everything together, and we decided everything together, and still like until today. So all along the way, we were like trying the best thing like to for INTERSYS. So I think after we became like really like big in the scene, there was a lot of offers. We jumped from several labels. I think we were in the label of H2O. It was the Avi Space Cat and Ari LinkedIn Alien Project. So we were in their label, and we felt like it was not like a good place for us, because also with the connection with the style music they had in their label and to our music. So we kind of changed that to doing everything again by ourselves, because even today we are releasing. Utopia is no longer exists yet, but we still owe a lot of good time to Utopia, to Ido Yaron. He was like really a good person. He was really helpful in that time. But the management and everything that happened with INTERSYS, like making decision and everything, like about gigs, about shows, about everything, was me and Moshe at the end. And we always brought that extra, how to say it, like, because when you let someone do like something, it's not always like how you do it. And we were like very into doing things like our own way and creating a lot of things on the way. So yeah, I think, well, at that time, that time and until today, we are like very independent. Like we now have our own label. It's not like a big label, but it's like it's just our label that we are releasing our music, and hopefully maybe in a few years we're gonna release other artists' music. But right now it's just for us to release our music. So basically, me and Moshe doing all the INTERSYS stuff together.
Yeah, no, and I understand. Like, I do the same thing. Like, beatcontrollers has never been a label itself. I have worked with Maya Shakti and with other labels, but I almost since when I was with Eddie left and when I was with Daniel and I was alone, I keep like doing everything myself because I like to learn and everything. And at that moment, I was like, I can do everything myself. Just mastering and that stuff. Yeah, you need to do something else because I have a studio, but I don't have the years from domestic or from something like more professional. But yeah, but something that I really like from INTERSYS and that people recall, because I was so much into the scene and I was playing a lot and knowing a lot of artists. But I remember like the logo for INTERSYS was, I don't know who do you made the design. It's killer like the alien, and something that blew my mind. And I never talked to you like because we were never in this kind of space of interview. When I see your video game, I was like, what the fuck?
One? The one with the guitar?
Yeah, with the guitar and also the like.
Well, I mean, we kind of designed it like in a way, but Moshe was in charge of all the programming and all that. It happened with Flash. There was like a long time ago there was a way to program stuff. With a Flash.
Yeah, it was from Adobe, but it's over.
So it was wow, it was amazing, and because of like those things you remember, we always made sure like we always do new things in the thing, because we started like you can see that every time like we started like doing the full music was like at the beginning it was kind of normal, and then we added the vocal, and it was like that time nobody did vocals on Psytrance. Nobody. Now it's like It's everybody does it, like in a progressive and everything. I'm not saying like we started the thing, but we always like thought about adding the extra value to that track, and not to always to that track, but it's like to the concept general of INTERSYS, you know, because as we did like, for example, like the Music in 3D album.
Yeah.
So we kind of decide. I mean, it's kind of weird that how we came up with this idea, because at that time when we did the music, like a little bit when we prepared the album, but a little bit back, there was all about like the 3D stuff on the
the theater.
The theater and the movies and everything. So we kind of combined that two things, you know, like taking the 3D glasses and making a 3D artwork, like the CD, because you had, if you want to see the 3D, you had to have the glasses. So we kind of we printed everything, like the paper and everything was in 3D. So you had, when you bought the CD, you had like the glasses inside, so you can watch the 3D animation and everything. So we always were like waiting, searching for like how to make new things, like every time with the music, but not only with the music, like as you said, like with the game we did, and there was other things that we did. So until today, we are always looking for like to expand our knowledge, but also like keep the foundation, the core of INTERSYS, because INTERSYS is like it's like a definition of like creative, like doing like creative stuff always. And like we have also like, we're gonna release a new track actually next week. So it's gonna there is like vocals in not like a vocals, but like a speech, and this speech is made with AI. So it's like we did like really long time ago, was like I think 1 year ago, something like that speech, and it's like we are always trying new ways to incorporate with other stuff to make INTERSYS music very interesting and very unique. And I think we have a lot more to bring to the table. And we actually, it's a small teaser, but we're actually working on a few more new tracks. So it's gonna be, you hosted one of him here. So it's his name is Underbeat. So we're gonna have a new track with him. Really, really nice track. I really love it. So it's gonna release soon. It's not gonna be the one next week, but next week is a pure INTERSYS one that I really love. So you're gonna listen and you're gonna understand that it's always about making new music and creating new stuff. Very like always to do that, because it's important.
Yeah, and I clearly see it, and I think a lot of people also, because going back to music in 3D, on that time it was like, yeah, you share it. Social media was strong, but not as strong as today, because history doesn't exist. It was only Facebook and SoundCloud and the last steps of MySpace.
Yeah.
And YouTube was like going up. And I recall when you launched Music in 3D that you make a review video, like, hey, this is an Omri Nosram and Moshe Maman, and this is our new album, and this is the glasses, and this. And I say, wow, this is very smart.
Yeah.
And I'm not a marketing guy, but I saw it and it's like, wow, because you are talking to the audience about the album, and like every track, like this is Earthquake, this is Electro Fever, this is the No More Noise, this is the remix that we made from the beach from Didi, Visual Contact. And it was like, wow, these guys are very smart. Like, I really love what they're doing.
Yeah.
And what happened after? Why the shutdown? Because it was Music in 3D, and I don't recall, it was another album, and then stopped music.
We stopped doing music. Well, we haven't stopped doing music, but there was like a lot of changes in our life, because we until after 3D music in 3D, we were like not singles, but like with no babies, I would say, no kids and all that. And so at that phase we were like more like into our families, babies and all that. And also in that time I lost my mother, so it was like very hard for me to recover, like making music while you are like a little bit sad, not a little but a lot of sad. So it took some time for us to come back. And after like a few, I think was maybe like 2 years or something like that, we started like coming back, doing music, and yeah, I think we kind of got back, but it was like it felt like we missed the train, that we became like these artists that were like in the like headliners in everywhere. We became like more like those old school artists that are like, their music was like still popular and everything, because we haven't created new music. So I think that time we were like, this time we were taking this time for ourselves, for each one in their own. Moshe was with kids and everything. I was in a relationship and also lost my mother. So it was like very tough time. And yeah, I think after that we kind of hop on the train and started doing music, and got like more gigs, more shows. So
yeah. I asked because people that know you like me, like long time ago. Well, I felt so sorry about your mom. I remember, I recall that moment a few years ago, and people were so engaged, and you were, and well, INTERSYS was like very active. Like I remember like Richards and the Missing in 3D, and then I remember a compilation, but I forgot the name of the compilation. Yeah, the Revolt, and it was like very constant, like new music, new singles, and I remember that Moshe, like, I finished this track. I forgot the name of the track. Like it let's get this thing started, but it was I forgot the name of the track. I have it on my playlist. But yeah, Moshe was always sending me tracks, and you like, hey, I do this and I do that, and I remember that new compilation with the new version of Fast Mode, and was like, yeah, this track is so killer. Yeah. And then it stopped, and I remember that it went to Israel when that launched, and I was with Moshe in Tel Aviv, and he told me, I'm working on some new tracks and everything, and then I go back, and nothing happened. And I know that this is the way. Like sometimes you're on the hype, and then you go down. Even myself, I make a small cut in 2014, like when I went to Israel. Like it was like not finding myself, and I said, okay, let's do something different. And I making content and now the podcast and everything, like try to reimburse myself. So I'm so happy that you go back. When I saw that you were going to play at Atmosphere Festival with Omics again, I was like, wow, killer that this guy is coming back.
Yeah, it was like, we worked a lot to make this happen. And it was 2012, I think.
12?
No?
When? What?
The Atmosphere was?
No. Well, yeah, you played on my friend in 2012. That is what I'm telling you, that it's the first time that I miss a flight. I also talked to Omics. Is that the only flight in my life that I miss is that flight. But it's not like nobody's fault. It's just too much traffic from Mexico City, and Atmosphere Festival, or all the Psytrance Festival are outskirts of the city. It's very complex. Yeah, I remember that party that I go to visit you, like Sesto and Perplex and Vibe Tribe, rest in peace, they were there, and yourself. And I remember that I talked to Omar, I'm going to the festival, and we stayed in Aranjuez. And I remember that I called like in Skype to Moshe, like, Macaway. And he was like, are you here? I said, yeah, I came like to be on the party with you. And yeah, I remember all the vibe and all the energy that you played the night, and Moshe singing. It was killer.
Those kind of parties made like really big change for INTERSYS. So I think at that time we kind of got back on the horse and started doing more new music. So yeah, it went like on and off all the time. Because due to the families stuff we did, and we all not always had the time to create, because we did create music, but it took us more time because of logistics and everything, and it was harder to do music. And also like things has changed, also there was like in that time I think there was like the hype for progressive, like progressive psytrance thingy. It was like low BPM. Everybody started like all the artists, like even the full artists created like a second project, and started doing progressive stuff, like low tempo BPM. So we kind of like not gave up on INTERSYS, but we took like a few steps back again. And I think after, like, if we jump like really like few years later, I think we started like doing again more music was like before the COVID. For the COVID, we started doing like, I think it was like 2018, I think, something like that. We started like making more music. And
yeah, I remember the sorry for interrupting you, the cover from the all black with the animal with colors, but I forgot the name of the album. Wild Animals.
Yeah.
I remember that was the last and then
it stopped. Yeah, we stopped doing, because we did work, as I told you, on this album, and we did a lot of tracks with Ella there. So that at that moment, again, we always try to keep music alive with INTERSYS, and after that. But I think from like pre-COVID, I think, well, COVID happened and it kind of ruined for everybody. But I think like 2018 or something, like that, me and Moshe decided, like, we talked about it. We said like, okay, let's do it more like regularly. Like, let's do more music together. Let's do this, because we have been through a lot of stuff on the way, like personal stuff and all that. So it was hard to make music when you are trying to like deal with your personal stuff, and it's kind of hard to make music because it affects both ways, because if you are like maybe like upset or something like that, then your music become like upset, So at that time, I think we not in 2018 we talked and we said like, let's make more regular content, where more about music, and I think until today we are more focused, and we are planning rest of the moment to work on the next album. It's not sure where it's gonna release, but we are trying to make it more stable, because I think INTERSYS has a big part in the scene, and a lot of people still remember, when I meet a lot of people around the world, they always like talk to me about that part before the break, before we took that break for personal stuff. So they always remember like it was a really good music, and they were like happy with that music and all that. So we are right now trying to making this happen again, but with a new look, because the music has changed, a lot. So we are now making new music. So we are working on, there is like the next week there is a new track, and there is one track with Omer Underbeat, and there is like more new track with Ella. So I'm actually gonna play it this weekend. It's like the first time, so if everybody is watching this, so maybe look for the video. So we are making new content, new music. It's hard. I think we talked about it on the way here. It's hard to deal with, doing like a marketing stuff and creating the content and making the music, and then you have also the personal life, like to take care of your kids, the wife, and the home and everything. So we are, me and Moshe, trying to do new stuff always. So.
No, I'm very happy that you're back on the loop and you going back into make music. And I fully understand. Sometimes it's very complex to find time to make music when you're alone yourself. Now coordinate with another people's lives. That when we get older, we have more responsibilities and everything. And also the industry is very demanding because you need to keep like posting and creating. And yeah, talking for, at least for me, it's something that's very, I'm tired because there's a lot of stuff that I need to create, like launch every track like at least every 2 months, and now the podcast every week, and the reels every week, and stories and everything. And I'm not ashamed of sharing my life. I love what I do, but sometimes it's like too much responsibilities. And at least on the music is like, okay, this is trendy, I hope it goes good. And some tracks don't go good, and other tracks will like when amaze yourself. And the same with the content, with the podcast, like you need to find new guests and talk about different stuff, and it's the good stuff about sharing. But it's very demanding. Like when you make a reel, maybe the first 50 is easy, but after 100 it's like, what track should I do? So sometimes I need to take shows of all tracks and everything, because people like the mix, and you need to make like all the production and this, and you become like quicker doing everything. But sometimes it's like, I need to do this, I need to do that, and sometimes you are not on the mood.
Exactly. Everything becomes with a priority, like, because there's everything in life has priority, and you need to organize everything. So sometimes music is in the front, sometimes it's in the back, So I can say that we are working on a new music, so it's something that we are trying to bring back, because I know a lot of people are always interested in new music, from INTERSYS music are very interesting. So we are making new music. We're gonna do a new album. We are talking about it, but it's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be 2024. It's gonna be a good year. It's not gonna be the best year. I think 2025 will be a good year, but this year is gonna be a making year. We're gonna do a lot of things. We're gonna try to keep up with the pace, because today, as you said, with the like uploading content and everything, you have to do it like daily. And if you don't do that, you are like, it's not that you're not interesting, but it's like you're losing your slot. You know what I mean? Like there is like I don't know, like there is one artist you like to watch or you follow, and I don't know, you don't follow him for 1 week, and you don't get like notification from him anymore. It's crazy. So it's like you always try to keep up, but I mean, we are not. Back then we were like really good in marketing and doing a lot of things. Or even today we are really good in that, but we don't have the research to do that because of our personal life. But we are trying really hard to make new content, and we are thinking about how to make new things like engagement, because I told you we are working on new tracks, and there was like a thought we and me and Moshe had about making like a live broadcast. I don't know if it's a podcast, but it's a live transmission, talking about the new tracks and like making people more involved, like how we did the bass line, how we did the kick, how we made this melodic, and how we did the vocal, the AI vocal, how we, like bring more like the togetherness that we had back then, and all over again.
Yeah, and the good stuff is that you can do that, and then you can make clips of that, and you can like maybe somebody doesn't want to listen to like all, but how we make the AI vocals in Psytrance, and it's a trendy topic, and people's going to see. You put subtitles, and people's going to enjoy it. Yeah. Something is that the people wants to know what are you doing, and something for you might not be so much interested because you do it every day, but for somebody it's like very interested. Like even for me, I know I use AI a lot, but I never use it for production. So
it's actually a nice thing. I'm not gonna say too much, but it's because it takes a lot of time and it's very complicated, but it's something really nice to do. And I think, well, today the AI and everything is like, ChatGPT and all that become like very like mainstream, so yeah, I think this connection with the music can be really interesting. And I saw a lot of like artists making like really like crazy stuff, like making vocals of other artists, and it can do a lot of crazy stuff, and it sounds like genuine, so yeah, well, you will be the judge of that when we release the new track next week. It has the AI vocal, so let's see. Something new.
I'm looking forward to listening to it. And yeah, well, I want to thank you for sharing like all your story, all your experience, and I'm very happy that you're back. I know you since a lot of time. We haven't seen in a lot of places. We have played together a lot of times. I remember one time you come to Monterrey, and we went to have dinner and everything. And in Mexico City, when you make the INTERSYS and Friends party, we were to La Condesa. We did some tacos. So yeah, we've been together since a lot of time, and I'm very happy that you and Moshe are going back into the loop, and I'm sure that you're going to have all the support for me and for all the producers and fans that you have all over the world. And yeah, I'm going to do whatever I can do to support the new music, maybe make some reels, some guitar edit, something, I want to thank you for your time. Please share your social media, people where can see you, follow you.
Well, we are usually on Facebook because I told you we are kind of old with the trends and everything. So basically all our followers are in Facebook. I know Instagram is a strong also social network that we need to, but we need more followers in Instagram, so it's gonna take some time. So basically, this is like our channel. So you can look up INTERSYS in Instagram and Facebook. You will find us. We are trying to fill out content every day. And if you are in the car and you are in a mood for happy music, just type in Spotify INTERSYS music and you're gonna find it.
Yeah, I'm going to put all the links to all your social media and Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. I want to thank you for sharing your experience, and we're looking forward for your new music in 2024 and 2025, and keep on the music. It doesn't have to stop. So you have really killer music, really killer edits, and let's hear it. So let me close the podcast in Spanish.
Okay, sure.
Muy bien, bueno, a todos los que escucharon o vieron este capítulo con INTERSYS, síganos en sus redes sociales. Aquí les dejo las ligas en los comentarios. Tanto Facebook como Instagram. Revisan su música en Spotify. Tienen música muy, muy chingona. Igual el podcast, denle like y compartan, hagan que siga creciendo para que sigamos generando más contenido. Los quiero mucho, les agradezco por todo su apoyo y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo. Hasta luego.